you to be corrupt in that country, then we can begin to move ahead.
Okay.
So it is comparing.
I think it's more of how you manage your 10 billion. I think how you manage it, that's what you have to look at, how you manage the money. You might not be a very rich nation. If you go to Togo here, you see the way the country is structured. It's like you're in Europe. You're not richer than Nigeria, but their streets are clean, Ghana is clean, and people are happy doing what they are doing because the value of their money can make them comfortable. People take salaries in Nigeria here, the value doesn't do much. Before you fuel your car now, with a minimum wage at maybe 7,500, if you have a four-cylinder car, you buy a petrol of 2,500 to fill the tank. And you know the traffic situation in Nigeria. Before you get, that's just for 2 days. So how does that carry you for a whole month?
Okay, now I want us to, I don't want us to lose focus of our subject matter, which is how corrupt is Nigeria? In fact, let me ask you, Bayo, answer that question. I'm going to ask him to, how corrupt is Nigeria? Not corrupt, very marginally corrupt, or very corrupt? What do you think?
Well, I would say it's marginally corrupt.
Okay,
marginally corrupt.
Marginally corrupt.
Yes, just for the whole country.
For the whole country. Okay, fine. Let me hear.
Government, then I would say very corrupt. But for the whole country, just marginally.
Okay,
and there's corruption everywhere in the world.
Okay, when you do the average, by the time you bring very corrupt of government, mix it with the general populace, it now becomes average.
So we can't be number 3.
You know, marginally corrupt. Louis, what's your take?
Yeah,
how corrupt is Nigeria?
I would say the system makes it almost impossible to live on honest wage.
Okay.
I would define it that way.
Because now this is part of the mechanics of the thing.
For instance, the minimum wage in Nigeria at the moment is...
Wait, Louis, before you go into that area, answer the question, okay, how corrupt is Nigeria? Not corrupt, marginally corrupt, very corrupt.
Relative to what now? Relative to who?
Relative to your sense of morality, your personal take, as a Nigerian, your personal take.
I would say the average Nigerian would want to take advantage of the system.
Why are you judging?
Okay, no, he's not.
I'm not judging.
Okay, we would want to take advantage of the system.
Take advantage of the system.
Okay.
We wouldn't want to pay tax. In fact, if NEPA comes to cut our light, we either want to bribe them so that they can fix the light, or maybe at night we'll contribute money to go and restore.
But don't you think this all has to do with what he has just said about your income not having much value? Your income doesn't go far.
Yeah.
But if your income were improved, for instance, and you know you could take for granted, you know, good roads, good transportation system, then you wouldn't have to do these things.
No, what I'm saying, it takes over. I said the system makes it impossible to live on honest wage. Of course, the salary that is going to be paid, we are not going to tell CBN to just print currency note and begin to share to everybody. Okay. It needs to be valueless.
Okay,
the income we earn
Louis,
has to be in the country.
One moment, please. Louis, one moment, please. I hear you. I indeed hear what you're saying, and I understand it. But I still want to hear from you. Therefore, is Nigeria not corrupt, marginally corrupt, or quite corrupt?
I would say quite corrupt.
Oh, quite
corrupt.
Quite corrupt. Now, here you are. We got to that level.
Quite averagely.
Well, marginally corrupt and quite corrupt. And there are reasons, because Louis again brought something up. He said the system in Nigeria makes it difficult, that's his opinion, and I dare say it's shared by a lot of people, makes it difficult to be honest and above board in this country. And he cited some very standard examples that just about every viewer watching Sunrise can relate to. NEPA comes to disconnect you because you have not paid your bills. The bills that you didn't pay, you don't worry about it too much, unfortunately, because you know that when NEPA comes along, I'll take a percentage of it and bribe the NEPA guy, and that now buys me more time. There are other examples. You infringe some traffic rule in this country. You have a choice of going along with the police officer to the police station or saying to the man, "Ultimate with settle. Ultimate with settle. No need for us to go to police station." And these are realities on the ground in Nigeria today. All sorts of forms that you shouldn't pay a thing for, you are billed for. Look, never mind, that is cancerous corruption. Now, even commercial, you find that some of the things that are being sold. Remember when these telecommunications companies, these phone companies were selling GSM cards and all this war? They actually had to start telling people directly, say, please don't pay more than this. This is the official price. But as soon as it gets to dealers, they up the price. That never mind 1 naira. This one is 500 naira, and you can take it or leave it. So I hear what Louis is saying in there, in trying to determine, never mind Transparency International, how we are, what do we think ourselves. And that's why, as I said at the beginning, we've invited you guys because you're not really among them, so to speak, the old school. You know, you guys are a new generation. I want to hear, what do the guys of the new generation think? How corrupt are we, and can we do anything about it? But before we go further, someone wants to join us from home.
Morning.
Hello, morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Tokumbo, and I'm calling from Surulere.
Yes, sir.
And I think I want to share the view that Nigeria is highly corrupt, and we all are guilty, inclusive of Yori and Ale and myself talking.
Very well done.
And
Very well done.
That this corruption can be traced right from the top. We celebrate mediocrity. We celebrate non-entities. Nigerians have never given it to sort of find out the source of income of most people. Let's take it from the presidency, for instance. There's a gentleman who is in the presidency who maybe 5 to 6 years ago I never seen him before. But nowadays, after every NTA news, I see him on the news. He has schools, he has this, he's been made an advisor. Money doesn't just come from the blues. Where did he get his money from? Let me bring you back to my own constituency in Surulere that I'm talking about now. There's a playground at Odoloniwala where the chairman has now started construction of lock-up shops. And because he has influence with the police, the neighborhood have complained, the police have conducted up the area, OPC guys are there. And you just put all these sort of people, we celebrate them once they come in, far more money and things like that. But because of poverty, which we all lay allegiance to, that there's poverty in the land. But poverty does not blindfold all those kings that give every Tom, Dick, Musa, and Haruna chieftaincy titles. Where lies our cultural instinct? Where lies our morals? I want to use this, your media, Yori, to move emotion. Now, you see, everybody above the age of 55, let's tell them to rest for now in the governance of this nation. You might say those of us below 55 are also guilty, but I think it is time we start working on that. They have failed us totally, totally. In presidency, local government, state government, you have those who you will be ashamed of. Now you're talking about slap earlier on as well. Even with the type of people you put there.
Okay.
The less privileged in the society are not being taken care of, and we see what is happening because I am opportune to be in the council or to be in the government. So let the legislators just chaos.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Tokumbo. Thanks for calling. Well, that's a take there, and there's an allusion to the issue in there of this divide. That, you know, I said on our program we brought the youth, and anybody below 50 can think of himself in that way. And Tokumbo there said that everybody above 55 should just go and rest, even though there will be some bad eggs in this well, yeah, retire. Now, do you think? I wonder if you think there's something in there that our elders have perhaps failed us on the morality question, and so what they're passing on to the youth, as Tokumbo insinuated in there, what they're passing on to the youth is this same corruption, and unfortunately, because there will be blacklegs or whatever, these youth are imbibing it and are, you know, just wiping mouth, so to speak, and carrying on as usual.
I think it's mostly a case of ignorance.
Ignorance how?
Yeah.
You know, ignorance
how committed are you to your country?
Well, when you say ignorance,
public,
I beg your pardon, I apologize for interrupting you, but you said it, I think, but a lot of people know it. A person suddenly gets himself into office through election or selection or whatever, but a private person becomes a public official, and that signs his open doors. And within a year, he has houses, he has property, he has whatever. Now, I want to know what you mean by ignorance. That it is ignorance that caused that poor man, that ordinary Nigerian, to become a property person. Explain the ignorance part of it.
Yeah, you see, people who get into government, most of them have come from a very poor background. And all of a sudden, overnight, they find themselves in splendor.
Yeah, but if
Paul, they don't know how to handle it.
Sorry, I beg your pardon. I really apologize for interrupting you. Poor is not dishonest.
Poor is not dishonest.
The two of them are not synonymous. So coming from a poor background doesn't mean you come from a dishonest background. So I'm trying to get the ignorance part.
There is a situation where you come from that poor background, and the system, as you had mentioned earlier, allows you to exploit the system. Nobody's going to check you and say, okay, you'll be arrested if you embezzle money. Nobody does that. People have not been brought to book for embezzlement or anything. So once they feel that they can get away with doing these things, it will continue. And the irony is that they keep this money abroad.
Okay.
But these foreigners, they don't come to your own country to keep their money here. They don't come to your own country to live here and buy houses.
Okay.
They stay in their own country and develop their own countries. But we Nigerians, we Africans, generally, all over Africa, we go abroad. I think it's a colonial problem.
One moment, please. One moment, please. Hello? Are you there? Try that one.
Hello? Morning. Hello?
Yeah, hello, good
Please
morning.
go ahead.
Yeah, this is Tony from Prescott. Yeah, you're talking about issue of corruption. Let's take on the Erufai case with the senators that led to the insulting of the senators. When the case was resolved, nobody talked about the main issue, why the senators were insulted. And it all died. The presidency, the chairman of PDP, all begging on behalf of Erufai. Now you talk of the legislators. I was watching the program when you started. You started with saying that of all the issue of the slapping, money is involved. This is our legislators. There's a case that came out in the paper about 2 months or 3 months ago as regards the Australian government talking about money that was taken away from the government running into millions. They went for that to say the money came from the Ministry of Works. It died down that way. Nobody is talking about that. I give you an example, like in my local government. They had a case in the tribunal, and the local government, my local government was proud enough to tell people that he's using local government money to go and contest. I mean, he's using local government money to pay for his lawyer. I mean, what are we talking about? The young man there is playing what? Louis or something is playing. I don't know if he's being conservative with balls. He should, I mean, Nigeria, the government is corrupt. You know. So
okay.
That's my contribution.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Tony. Now, Tony, you brought up something and we can take that direction. Let's look at that for a moment. The politicians that we have get elected one way or the other. You know, there are people who would debate that issue, that my use of the word elected. But you understand what I mean. Politicians get elected, and we have heard from them that it costs a pretty penny to get elected in Nigeria. In fact, no poor man can come forward really and say he's going to.
It's all over the world.
It's all over the world, but in Nigeria particularly, it costs a lot of money. We have heard to get